There's AAU and every type of league you can imagine for young people that deal with sports, whether it's football, basketball, swimming, golf, tennis, but who's focusing on the mental aspect? Who's focusing on the educational part of navigating through that world, should they want to? And these are things that can be done through Junior TBL that are fun.
Yes.
Fun activities that allow them to participate and build their self-esteem and recognize that you are somebody because you are somebody, not because you're a basketball player or not because you're a football player. And if we can get the young people to understand this, then they can start to see themselves as a complete person and not just the persona of, I want to be seen through a sport, because basically that's what it's about. They want to be seen.
This episode is brought to you by me. Yes, by me, Victoria Odekomaya. I'm a brand photographer and strategist based locally here in Indiana. And I love helping women, small business owners, and professionals with side hustles build and elevate their brand. So if you're in the market and looking for someone that would thoroughly help you create a beautiful imagery for your brand and help you connect to your target audience, I'm your girl. So why choose me? Because I offer a beautiful, luxurious celebrity photo shoot experience for all of my clients. The celebrity experience includes professional hair and makeup, wardrobe styling. I serve wine and chocolate covered strawberries, and I'm playing your favorite music because it's important to me that you look and feel great to create the images that we know will truly connect with your audience. So what are you waiting for? If you're looking for photography to help you elevate your brand, call on your girl because I got you.
Hello, how are you doing today, Miss Evelyn? How are you?
I am blessed. I'm blessed. Thank you so much.
I will tell you, it is an honor to have you on. Today, I am so excited about this conversation. I'm thankful for your time, for making time to be on today. And I know that there's just so much for us to learn. So thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, no problem. And thank you so much, Miss Victoria, for allowing me the opportunity to share more about the basketball league and the journey that I've been taking and that I am taking as I go out and into different communities across the United States and Canada.
Wow. So we're going to get into the introduction, but I'm like giddy right now. I'm like super excited because you are a really big deal. You are doing such incredible work. You've broken a lot of glass ceilings, which you're going to go get into. And I'm really hoping that, everyone watching and everyone that's going to watch this episode will be very inspired, including me. So, so let's get started. For those that don't know who you are, can you please introduce yourself?
Well, I'm Evelyn Magley. I am the CEO of the Basketball League, and I am just a retired school teacher that was given a vision to take the simple game of basketball and use it to show love to community.
That's amazing. So I know that when we spoke, there was this amazing story about how you got started with the Basketball League. And before we even go further, I have to say that you are the first woman, you're the first woman to have a professional basketball league. So we really need to put that out there because that is such a big deal. In a world where it's mostly dominated by men, you are really holding your own and paving the way for a lot of amazing women coming behind you. So thank you so much for, answering the call and, going forward with that vision and what God has called you to do. So tell us a little bit about the Basketball League.
Well, the Basketball League started back in 2018. It's a God-given vision, and I don't apologize for it. And as I said, it's using the game of basketball to show love to community. And we do that through building the young men that play in the league, which we have over 600 young men that play across the United States and in Canada. So we're the third largest, or should I say, we are the third pro basketball league in North America. You have the NBA, then you have the G League, and now you have the basketball league. And our footprint is actually larger now. But we're excited about what we're doing. We have young men that are ambassadors. They're able to be seen in over 145 countries we're broadcast into. And what this does, it opens the door of opportunities for them to be seen. The talent level doesn't just drop off when you get outside of the NBA or the G League. There are so many young men that just have not been seen. And so the basketball league is a showcase league that allows them to be seen worldwide, that opens doors of opportunities that allow them to be able to go to other countries and participate in those countries, NBA, TBL. So it's exciting. We also have and use one of the top-rated stats programs in the world, Genius Sports. And as you know, the young men need stats and they need footage. So with the ability to be able to be seen and also be able to use that footage to self-market, also with the ability to have stats and to play at a high level of basketball, it allows them to be able to market themselves and be able to be seen and show the world what they can do.
Wow, that's incredible. So what I'm hearing is like you have a passion for, helping this young men be seen on a, larger scale. And that's amazing. So this is a male-dominated industry, but you are doing it. Tell us how you got started. I remember you sharing with me that story about how you got started, because I'm sure this is a God-given dream. You have a lot of challenges in this area, but for you to even get started, it must have been like something bigger than you, right?
It definitely was. It was really birthed. The basketball league was birthed on the bathroom floor of my daughter's home. We're going through a really hard time in our own personal lives. My husband had lost a sibling, had died unexpectedly. There were a lot of things that were going on just within our family. And I was on the floor in the bathroom crying out to God saying, what is it that you want us to do? What is it that you want me to do with my life? And, this world, it didn't seem like it was kind of being fair as far as, when you try to live your life with integrity and you treat people a certain way, then I think we live in this bubble where we think if you do the right things that everything is going to be right. And sometimes even when you're doing something that you think is good, you don't always get the result that you think in your heart that you want. So here I am crying out to God about, woe is me, what's going on, and we lost his sibling and all of this and just crying. And I just heard a real still voice, why are you crying? And I was like, well, trying to justify, I'm crying because, wait a minute. I say I believe in God. I taught at a Christian school. And I shared with the students how real God is. And yet, when I run into an obstacle or something that I didn't think went my way, here I am on the floor crying. So I felt really convicted at that point. Like, why am I crying? This is like, God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I'm down here on the floor, crying. And then a voice, just a still voice, do you trust me? Then I really felt convicted because I thought, well, if I trust him, then why am I crying? This is like, why am I doing this? I can't say I trust God. And then when things don't go my way, I'm on the floor crying and I'm like apologizing to God and like, God, forgive me. I want to give you the sacrifice of praise. I'm supposed to be praising you and all this. So I'm like, started just thanking God for everything, that he had given me, for my grandchildren, for my children, for just everything. And I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
But I just started just trying because I was in a really, really bad place of pain. Yeah, I could feel it in my body. And I was just like, God, forgive me. Just started thanking him and realizing all of the things that I had to be thankful for, and not just sitting there, licking my wounds, but just really thinking, why am I down here crying? I have so much to be thankful for. And then a real still voice, start your own league. I'm like, start my own league? Wait a minute. I'm a retired music teacher. Start my own league. And then I was like, start my own league. And then it was like a download, like when that thing is turning. I was like, all this information just started flooding my brain, and I jumped up off the bathroom floor. I ran into the room where my husband was asleep. And I'm like, David, God spoke to me. He spoke to me. And he sleeps with one of those things on, like Darth Vader. He sits over. I'm like, David. He's like, what's happening? I'm like, David, God spoke to me. He's like, what are you talking about? Or what are you talking about? So I'm like, take the mask off. I gotta share it. So he said, God showed me to start my own league. He showed me to start my own league. And he's like, well, can we talk about this tomorrow? I said, no, I'm getting all this, it's information. I gotta write it down. Get up. So we sat up till like 5 a.m.
Wow.
And just started writing down everything about how this league would be a league that would show the love of God, not trying to proselytize anyone or make them think like me or believe, but really using this game of basketball to show love to community, to let the young men know that we see them. Like, I see you. You're not just this athlete, this robot that's just running up and down the court, chasing this ball, trying to, but I see you as a person, and to build into their lives things that maybe they may have missed, or maybe things that they don't have knowledge of, or financial literacy, and then showing and teaching them life skills, and getting them to a place where they understand what it means to be a professional basketball player, and what the expectations are, and then trying to get good coaches and teaching the coaches how to be good mentors and not just tear people down to try to win a trophy. Because at the end of the day, there's only one team that's going to win that trophy. Only one. What happens to the others? So it's, making and building a culture and an environment where people understand that the real trophy are the young men. It's great to win a trophy, but what are you doing to impact their life? Because one day they're going to turn their ankle or blow their knee out, or maybe they just decide they don't want to play anymore. What are they going to have when it's all said and done? And what have you done as a coach or a teammate or whatever to try to build each other up? So it's more, like I said, using that game to just show love. And of course they're screaming and hollering and that's testosterone's going. But if you have to berate someone and make them feel less than, without building them up, what is the purpose? So we're hashtag a different league because our philosophy and what we believe and what we're doing to impact lives and community is the most important thing.
Yes. Wow, that is so touching. And because I know in this, generally speaking, men, especially young men, even of certain color, get forgotten.
Yes.
They're not seen.
Yeah.
And then we wonder why, things are happening, or they are being held in the system in the wrong, they're in the wrong places.
Right.
But your organization is giving them an opportunity to build the whole person, giving them that is so powerful. That is so powerful.
And also to let them know that, TBL is not their brand. Their brand is their life.
Good.
So why do you have to come to TBL for us to tell you how you should live? I mean, this is a process. It's a way of thinking because, they want to fit into the brand. Everybody's talking brand this and brand that. Well, actually, you should already have your own brand.
Yes.
Okay, so my thought is I tell them, your brand is not TBL. Your brand is your life. How are you treating your girlfriend, your wife, your family? What does your social media look like? What are you telling people about you? You say you want to play in another country, but let's see, does your brand fit the profile of a pro athlete? If you've got move this and move that, and and you got who are you marketing yourself to?
Yes.
And who wants to co-brand with that? Are you thinking clearly, or are you marketing to your homeboys? Are you trying to impress them? Or are you trying to, number one, have your own life? And then if that's who you want to be, that's fine. Don't think you're going to get a great NIL and people are going to co-brand with you if that's who you really are. Because maybe those people that you want to brand with will not want to brand with you.
Yeah.
It's about sharing these aspects of simple things in life that sometimes all of us or sometimes the young men, they're not thinking. Like, you're in the G League. They're looking back at you in junior high. They're going through your social media. You know why? You're talking money, baby. You're talking money. Now, you want to be a brand, you want to be a pro player, and you want to look at them, but you're talking people that want to invest in you. You are your product.
Yes.
You are the product. And you have to, do you really want to play that game? There's a game within a game.
Yes.
Game.
Yes.
And what I want to do is educate them to understand that game. And if you're not willing to pay the price to be what you think you want to be, because all that glitters is not gold.
Right.
Do you really want to be a pro? Because I can tell by your social media, you really don't. And this may not be a good fit for you. And it's okay to find that out now.
Right.
And go ahead and move on to something else that you want to do. But you got to understand the game you're getting into. So that's what we want to do. We want to get you aware. We want to educate you. We want to show you this is how you build your brand, not
yes,
but yours. Anyway,
yes.
Go on and on.
No, that's it. That's a very great point. I mean, I think it applies to everyone, especially small business owners or even individuals where they are the brand, and people often forget that what are you really made of? What are you showing up as?
Yeah.
Who do people perceive you as, right? And those are the things that make room for you for that next level, whatever that next level is, and it's important that we're thinking about that. And I'm really glad that you help them understand that, because they might not be in big TBL. They will not be in TBL forever.
Right.
They have to be thinking forward.
Right. And also thinking, when you're on that court, that's one image of yourself, but you're so much more.
Yes.
That the people that do want to co-brand with you, when you're finished with the game, don't walk out of the arena with earphones on your head, with your bag over your shoulder and not interacting, because that next contact for the next part of your journey is probably in that arena or on the screen watching you.
Absolutely.
You got to learn to engage with people.
That's
to come
right.
outside of yourself and make those relationships. Have a reciprocal relationship with that community that you're playing in, because they are your source that will open the doors to more opportunities, not that thing that you're listening to on your head when you walk out.
Right.
And you just walked by 5 bankers that are looking to invest, and you got your headphones on. Do.
Right. Yes. That is so true, because I think people also don't think about the opportunities that presents itself. Like, we don't go in there being expectant of, opportunities. Like, you just think this is it, but there's so much more in that space, and so we have to, capitalize and maximize those opportunities. So yes, I want to go back to how you started, because I've been coming across a lot of small business owners or, entrepreneurs that are, they're starting their journey and they have this amazing idea. They know they want to change lives, but it's that stepping out that sometimes that's the, bottleneck for them. And I know that you have an amazing organization now. You're seen in over 145 countries. You're in the United States and Canada. That's incredible. But tell us a little bit about how you went from downloading everything that got put in your head, that day, into what was your first, second, and third step that led to what it is right now?
Well, one of the first things I did is I got incorporated. I became an LLC, and I built my company, because you have to not just have an idea, but if you're going to have a small business, you have to play by the rules. You have to get your business set up. And then once you do that, you have to get great accounting. You have to cross every T and dot every I. You have to go and you have to do trademark and copyright on the things that deal with your brand and your logo. You have to make certain that you have all that in order. And then you have to find great people. You have to find people that know more than you do. I'm CEO, but I don't know everything. And you have to be humble enough to understand that you can't walk around like the emperor with no clothes on and everybody's scared to talk to you. You have to and tell you, hey, you really need some help. You're kind of naked out there.
Right.
But you have to find people that understand the vision, have the same values that you have. And that's not easy. Sometimes you kiss a lot of frogs, but you have to find people that understand what your vision is, and then are willing for me to work with integrity, and then build on that. And that's a process. I remember I marched in the bank my first day with my little $20. I'm going to open my account and have my business account. And they said, ma'am, you need to have a business account. What is your business name? And I was like, good question. Well, I had a name and everything. So I thought, okay. So I marched, got in my car, drove downtown Indy, went in and got everything done according to the state, crossed all my T's, I called up my attorney. What do I need to do here? My attorney's writing up papers and all kinds of things had to be signed and everything. Then I marched back into the bank, same day now. Same day, I'm running. Because remember, I was up until 5 a.m. I was right. So I got the basic foundation down. And I think sometimes when people start a business, they don't understand that you have to be incorporated. You have to have and then you have to have a domain. All of these things you have to build. And that takes time, money, and effort. And then all of the other things with trademark, that takes money and effort. So there's a lot of small things that you do just to get the foundation laid so that it doesn't come back and bite you, because you have to have great accounting and you have to do your taxes and everything has to be in order. Otherwise, you can start off and if you don't start off the right way, it can come back and it'll bite you later. So I had to do all of those things. And I learned some of that from my mother, who had her own business, who was an entrepreneur, and I could go into that. But I remember that from her. But I did forget that I had to have that for that business account. No one's thinking that day. But
you were tired, probably. You've been up since
I was so psyched. I was sitting in the bank like, oh man, this is so, and it was so clear. So now it was very, very clear exactly what I needed to do. And I knew it was a word from God. And so that I stepped out with all faith, knowing that when he said, do you trust me? So really what he was saying to me is, now you why are you crying? Okay, you're crying, but that shows a lack of trust.
Right.
Now he asked me, do you trust me? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. I trust you, but I shouldn't be crying. And then that's when he gave me the vision. And so now I moved forward without looking back. But the fundamental things, that's what I did. I did that all in one day.
I love that. I love that you put action even in your faith too, because some people have all these great ideas, but then they keep, tomorrow, or something comes up, right? But you took that as a challenge and you went for, even in the same day, I know you were probably very tired, staying up until 5 a.m., but you were like, I'm not, yes, just keeping the momentum. So I also wanted to talk a little bit about, so you started this business, you've established the things that you needed to, you trademarked and things like that, right? So then you needed to start attracting the young men and all the other partners that you need to like get it to the standard, the level that you wanted it to be. I'm sure there's a journey in there. Can you tell us, and what my thinking here is like, when I look at your website and everything that I know about you, this is at a pro level. The way you present yourself. So we talked a little bit about branding earlier, right? And I find that a lot of people, they wonder why they are not attracting. We've already talked about it a little earlier too, where you're not attracting the right people. It's because they are not presenting themselves the right way, So just tell us a little bit about how that came to be, like, attracting all those young men, and then also with the funding and things like that too.
Well, I acquired a league that had 8 teams in it. And so I acquired that league and started with those 8 teams and built from there. So I went from 8 teams to 12 to, during the pandemic, to 29 to 44 to 49. And so it's hard to put it into words because I've never gone out and actively tried to get someone to be involved with the league. They've always come to us. And I believe they're drawn because of the values and the standards that we have. And so when you have values and standards and people that are like-minded, will automatically, that may have been thinking about, being a part of something of this nature, it draws them in. Understanding that, in order to have an NBA team, you have to have assets in excess of what, 3.6 billion? Wait a minute, let me say that again.
Right.
3.6 billion?
Wow.
So the opportunity, which I say is opportunity is open to anyone. But in particular, if you look at it, you had of minorities, you had one, Michael Jordan, and I think he just sold part of his assets for the team that he owned, because who can afford that? So we have a league that has a low barrier to entry. So we do payment plans so that people can come in and have a team. But even with that, they're held accountable to that payment plan because it is a business. And they have an opportunity to do what most people will never get an opportunity to do, which is to be a team market owner. And notice I say team market owner. They're not team owners. This is not slavery. They do not own the players. It's a different way of thinking. They own the market. They have a team in the market. So we call them TMOs, team market owners. So the individuals, to answer your question there, they come in through some philanthropists. Others are individuals that live in communities that they've always wanted to have a pro team in their community. But the NBA is, they've got their own market. And for whatever reason, they're not in some communities. But it's allowing people to be able to have a pro team that is a community asset that brings in streams of revenue that individuals that live within those communities can participate in that pro team being there. We have a team that's in Medora, the Medora Timberjacks, fabulous community of about 600 people. They have games in their local high school right there in Medora, and they sell out every game with almost over 1,500 people. For that community that has maybe one stop sign, but when they beat Lebanon Leprechauns or they beat the Kokomo Bobcats, guess who gets bragging rights? Medora. So it's that community coming together saying, we have something that we take pride in as a community, that we're all coming together. They're coming in, they see each other. Hey, there's so-and-so. Hey, so they're sitting there. They're making memories for their family. But at the same time, you've got a certain person is the general manager from that town, the live streaming from that town. They work, the school gets to work concessions. That's bringing in money to that. Streams of revenue that typically would not flow through that town are now flowing into that town and through the pockets of the individuals that live there. That's huge. So it's not just, come to the game with grandma and grandpa, which are great memories, but wow, I'm a dancer now. I get to be the mascot. I'm working the scores table. I'm on the production team. We've got a young man that's working on their video production that's in high school that's getting all of this experience, and he's putting it on his resume for when he tries to get in with his letter of acceptance to go to university. I said a lot there.
No, this is incredible because you're not only providing opportunities for the players, but also the whole community as well. Like several individuals in the communities are being touched.
Yes. And that in itself can make a positive impact on that community because the young people have something positive to do.
Yes.
The people that have been the mainstay in that community have more things to do, more interaction, and also to be able to use their gifts and their talents to help that community. Right. That's why our teams are community assets. And that reciprocal relationship between the team, the players. You have players that have their master's degrees that are playing basketball, not because, I don't have anything else to do in my life. This is what they love. So we have young men all across the United States that some are being substitute teachers, that are working within the communities, working for Habitat Humanity. Some are working on finishing out their school. Some want to be attorneys. Some want to be agents. they are working within communities and making those connections that they need in order to build their own businesses, which is financial literacy 101. But they're able to utilize the platform to seed into that community in a way that helps not only themselves, but helps the community to grow.
Wow. You've thought about every single part of this.
Wow. I love what I do. And I love
It obvious.
They're so amazing. They're so
Wow.
amazing and gracious. They're always like, Miss Magley, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Imagine the ability to be able to play at a level that shows your expertise and then allows the door to open for you to go to Italy or Spain or Brazil. We've had players that go to Germany, Costa Rica. That get to travel the world and see other cultures and have that experience, and some taking their family with them to be able to see a larger world than the 4 or 5 blocks that maybe they were raised in. It's impactful.
It is impactful. It is so impactful. Let's talk about the Junior TBL. Tell us about that.
Junior TBL is a platform for young people. Junior TBL has its own CEO and president, and the CEO of Junior TBL is 11 years old, and the president is 9. They are learning how to do business and run an organization. And what they do is they set up nationwide Junior TBL for each team has a junior component away from, separate of the pro team that they have. And it's not for basketball.
Okay.
It's for events and activities, education, financial literacy, life skills, teaching young people how to do accounting, how to run an organization, protocol, standards, and setting up activities that allow them as young people to grow in these areas. Let's face it, if you can take money and spend it to send your child to a youth basketball clinic so that they can learn the game better, if they're spending hours a day practicing shooting the ball, how about spending some hours a day developing your mind?
Wow.
So that's what Junior TBL is. It's developing the minds, standards, and values for young people so that they can start to develop those, as well as the athletic portion. There's AAU and every type of league you can imagine for young people that deal with sports, whether it's football, basketball, swimming, golf, tennis, but who's focusing on the mental aspect? Who's focusing on the educational part of navigating through that world, should they want to? And these are things that can be done through Junior TBL that are fun.
Yes.
Fun activities that allow them to participate and build their self-esteem and recognize that you are somebody because you are somebody, not because you're a basketball player or not because you're a football player. And if we can get the young people to understand this, then they can start to see themselves as a complete person and not just the persona of, I want to be seen through a sport, because basically that's what it's about. They want to be seen. It just so happens that it's a sport. But what they're saying is, I want to be seen. So even with TBL, yes, we're gonna do everything that we can with TBL to make certain that they are seen and have that pro experience. But in Junior TBL, we want them to be able to grow, to be able to see and have a mentality that I am an innovator. I am larger than this game, and recognize that first. and build them up in that way so that they don't feel like in their life they have failed if they don't make it to the NBA.
Because there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of depression and all kinds of other negative things that come with not making that type of league.
Yeah.
And so you're, oh, wow. So you're also helping not just, at the pro level, but starting younger and just not, helping them with the mindset parts, like building the person as a whole.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yes.
So I know you also have something coming up that you're starting, or maybe you started the senior, the Super League.
Yeah.
Tell us about the Super League. That sounds really exciting.
Oh, that's exciting. Basketball Super League. Basketball Super League is a destination league. Now, you say, oh, well, wait a minute. I thought TBL. TBL is a showcase league.
I see. Okay.
And so it allows you the opportunity to get to a destination league. Now, what is a destination league? It means that you're paid more. The players minimally paid would be starting at $1,500 and in excess of $10,000 and above a month, which is a lifestyle change for most.
Right.
Whether it's, NBA, that could be millions or hundreds of thousands, if not millions. But for the average person, I mean, a possibility of 10,000 plus a month for over 6 months of a league, that's huge. And that league, Basketball Super League, runs for 6 months out of the year. And you have larger venues, you have a larger fan base, and the pay scale is larger. So it gives our players from TBL opportunities to have an opportunity to go to BSL. We're working on arrangements where we can have something similar to what the NBA has, where they can have a turnaround, 2-day turnaround, or they can get called up to go play in BSL. So there are some things that we're working on. But that's located, basically right now we have 8 teams involved, and it's going to be in North America, which also includes Canada.
Right. Wow. Okay. So if someone is thinking, how can I be a part of this? I know that a lot of, the leagues are really well into the community, not just in Indiana, but other places too. Yeah. How can they be a part of that? I'm going to ask this 2 times or 2 separately. How can they be a part of it as part of the league, but then also as a market share holder too? Because those are your target audience as well.
So to become a team market owner, they would need to get in touch with our president. That would be David Magley at david@thebasketballleague.net, as in hoops.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that.
They would need to get in touch with him he'll give them the basic. He has a packet of information that he gives them to show them and tell them more about what the league is about. And, this may or may not be the league for an individual that is only looking to try to win a trophy. This may not be the league for them. We really are interested in people that are about community, that want to make an impact on lives, not just play a game of basketball.
Right.
So they would get in touch with him in order to get more information and go through our vetting process to be able to come into the league.
And so what about the players?
Now, the players have opportunities. We have something called TBL BSL combines that are they are actually carrying on right now, and those go all the way up until November. So they are located across the United States. The reason that we have the combines is we go to the players, so the players don't have to come to us. And what that does, it saves them money. For example, our oldest son, when he was trying out for a pro team, he was going to Vegas. He went out to Vegas, and he spent over $1,500 to go to one tryout. When he got there, he had to pay for his rental car. This is back in the day before Uber. So yeah, years ago. But he had to get a rental car. He had to get a hotel. He had to have his food. He had to pay to participate in that event. They had the right, clothing, shoes, and all of that. So he pays all that to go to find out that it was only one team. And guess what? They were looking for guards, and he was a center at 6'10". So he spent all that money to find out he didn't have a chance. He didn't have a snowball chance. So what we do is we go to various parts of the country that allow the young men to be able to travel up and back in one day so that they don't have to pay for a hotel, that they can get there and back. That the participation fee is minimal. And we have to pay for the facility. We have the jerseys and all of those things. So it's not a money grab, but they actually have an opportunity to be able to be seen and placed on a team to go to one of the team's training camps. And so that's exciting because otherwise, how would anybody see and know who they are to be able to? You can't just walk into a training camp and say, hey, I'm going to go to your training camp. So this is kind of like a precursor where you find out where you are as a player. Some players come in, and we've had a few players that have come into combines and they weren't ready. They didn't realize the level of play. They go, oh, they're sucking wind, and they're like, oh, this is real. And then they're like, I think I need to go to it. I need to get myself together.
Wow.
Because, oh my goodness, this is really competition. And they find out the level of what it means to play as a pro. And if they're not able to, some will go back and work and get better and come back. Either some have come back a year later and have made teams because they realize, wow, I was not game ready. So we have the combines, and they run from now all the way through until I think the last one is in November. And then we have a draft, which we're going to have for BSL, the Destination League. And that draft will be held, I believe it's going to be held, it might be held in Canada. And there's a key to that draft, because if you don't have a passport or you have issues that won't allow you to go out of the United States, you need to find that out now, because you make a team and then you're on a team and you've got to go play in Canada. You can't even get across the border.
Right. It's not good. Yeah.
So you need to take care of business and go to that draft combine. It's going to be a draft combine for BSL. Now, TBL has a draft in February, and that's always held here in Indianapolis. We have TBL draft, and that's in February, and there'll be more information on that. But that allows individuals to not only try out for TBL, but also get an opportunity to be seen by BSL.
Wow. This is amazing. I like how you are very intentional about pretty much everything that you do around this. You're definitely about helping the community, building the person, but you're also thinking about, okay, what is about helping to teach them how to think forward thinking, really, like, the whole traveling thing, because, they have opportunities to travel around the world, to be seen around the world. So you have to start thinking about that. So that's really
good. We also have, at TBL Draft, we have something called the interview. And this was very intentional on my part. I wanted the players, the young men, to have an opportunity to see that this is not just on the court, this is a business. Do you even know how to handle yourself in an interview? Have you ever been in an interview? And if you haven't, when this is over and you're not playing basketball, how are you going to go through an interviewing process? So we have what's called the interview, where they come in. I have an atmosphere that has live music that's going. I have hors d'oeuvres that are being passed. I have, they want to see stuff on television. I want you to live it. So I have all types of art and things that are there. So when they come in, they're in a foyer area where they're meeting the teen market owners, presenting themselves at a cocktail-like atmosphere. And then from there, our teen market owners dismiss themselves. The young men go through a briefing as though they are in the White House. Yes, it's like your next steps when you enter these doors. This is going to happen. There are going to be 50 teams there. The tables are set up, and then as they open the doors, the young men are received by the teen market owners, and understanding that the interview, everyone is being interviewed. You're interviewing the team. Did you do your justice? And then what I do is then I send out information to them, those that want to take the time. They get a personalized email that has, how do you dress at an interview? What do you wear? Videos showing them exactly what type of questions do you ask? Because I'm not trying to see who doesn't know. I want to see who wants to do their work off the court. And once they go into that interview, how did they come in? If you don't have a suit, wear a polo shirt that come clean. Are you fresh? Are you walking in and your pants are sagging down to your knees? You're interviewing. You want to have a brand? You're interviewing for a job. That's right. And it's not, you can be a kangaroo and do 15 flips out of the gym. But if you have no integrity, and all our teams, they're checking your social media. If you have no integrity, you don't know how to carry yourself. See how far you get. But I send all this information to them so that they are prepared, and then they can interview the team, because maybe you don't want to be on that team. Maybe you want to be on a different team because, their protocol and standards are more what you're looking for. Are you married? Do you have children? Do they provide housing? Do they not provide housing? So all of these things happen at the interview. And then I have local media that are there interviewing people. I have people that are also, I had a young man from Angel Martinez that came up from Miami that interviewed all the team market owners and players and some of the parents that attended. And it's all about the process.
Right.
Living it.
Right. It's a pro team. So you got to come correct. You have to come. Yes.
And those that don't come correct, they'll start to think about it when they walk in and they see other people that are coming correct. And they walk in and they have their hat on sideways and they got on it. And it's okay. You don't have to be dressed up in a suit, but are you clean? Did you wash your face?
Right. Kind of goes back to the whole branding thing we were talking about. Like,
yes, it's like,
and
how
do you want to be received?
But you have to know how to present yourself. And so those that have ever been to a draft combine and they participate in the interview, they know what is going on. And I had several young men that brought their resumes with them.
Nice.
I have a master's degree in this and this and this. I did this. I work at this corporation and this. And then they hand that to the team that they want to interview with. And then they interview the team.
Wow.
And the team is interviewing them. It's deep. It is deep. I love it, but it's deep, but it's about educating. And I think because I'm a retired teacher, I want to educate these young men so that they know in any situation that they're going into, that they're ready and they're prepared.
Wow, it's so good. So I know, we've talked a lot about BSL, TBL. I'm going to put the acronym and what it means. But anyway, TSL means the Basketball League. BSL means the Basketball Super League. And then we also have the Junior League as well. Mm-hmm. But all of the links are going to be in the comments and the show notes so that you can, if you're interested in joining or, being if you're interested in being a team market owner, you have the information to contact them or even being a part of the league itself. We'll put all of that in the comments as well. I think that you're doing something very phenomenal here. I love the fact that you're so community oriented, as well as helping the individual grow as a well-rounded person. And I have today has been such a honor for me to just learn and hear from you. Like, I'm like really inspired for the next level of TBL, BSL. And where can people watch this? The games
on TBL TV.
Okay.
TBLTV.tv. And we have games that are even archived that you can pull games up and you can join and pull games up and get you can get what's called a TBL League Pass.
Great. Okay.
And you can get a team pass and be able to watch those games that have been archived. And then also during the season, you'll be able to watch the games live.
Nice. And we can catch local, like we can actually go watch the, games as well, like too.
Oh, yes. You can go to games locally, and we'll have for 2024 season, we've got more teams coming in, and we'll have all of that posted for 2024 on our website. And that should be updated by October. I think at the latest, October 15th, with all the new teams, et cetera, they're being onboarded right now. There's a process that they have to go through, in order to be prepared for the season. But yes, there's the basketballleague.net and then basketballsuperleague.com.
Now, I have to say that, from my point of view, I think your brand is definitely educating. It's about community. It's about putting high-level process in place. So for those of you young ones that are interested in coming on, you better come correct. Like, you have to have your ducks in a row, because this is a pro-level team and it's really run as such too. And also for those that are interested in being a team market owner too, obviously, there's the investment in it, and it's a huge deal, because not only are you helping with the community, it's also a great business venture as well too. So really excited about this. And I'm also going to be checking out just to learn a little bit more about it. But do you have anything else you want to add to it?
Well, I would like to say that if there's a team in your region and you're looking for an internship or an opportunity to learn, whether you want to be a general manager, do you want to run live streaming, do you want to do stats? We have a beautiful stats program that we train everyone on, the same one that's used by the NFL, NCAA, G League, NBA, Euro League, and by FIBA. But it's an opportunity to be involved and to learn and to use that platform as a stepping stone, because we're a showcase league for everyone, right? Not just the players, but for everyone. I have an intern, Brandon Solansky, that was with the Basketball League 2 years ago. And he was an amazing intern. He is now working for the LA Clippers full time.
Wow.
He had on his resume, because I tell you, if you're with TBL, it's going to be boot camp. It's going to be boots on concrete. You'll learn exactly how everything's run, and you'll understand all the aspects. So we have internships that are available through each individual team. And if you can contact that team that's located in your area, they will get back in touch with you to possibly interview you for being an intern for that.
That's great. That's amazing. I hope you've been inspired about this conversation. I have been inspired too. And don't forget that you are the brand, and everybody that you meet, you have a chance to show them what you're made of. So do not take that opportunity lightly, because you are touching someone's life. So thank you so much for joining, and hopefully you go back into our archive and watch some of the other episodes that we've had, and as well as make sure you contact Miss Evelyn and learn more about the TBL program in the BSL and the Junior League, especially if you want to have this league in your community, because there's so many opportunities for not just the young men in your community, but also so many people that you could be touching too. So make sure you check the link, and until next time, make sure you remember to continue to own your brand.